Enjoy this sneak peek from CX Auto 2026, hosted by Thought Leadership Summits in partnership with Automotive News Congress.
Okay, well, very simply, I started. Before I got in the car business from ages 15 to about 21. I was shoveling coal and stripping floors in the city schools in New York. My dad was a union agent, and my brothers and I worked there. Grew up in the Bronx, just hard work, lower middle class family. And when my brother got in the automobile business, he said, "This is a great business for you. You're going to love it." And I also found out that if you worked hard enough and you were the top salesperson or one or two, that you'd be able to drive a demo. I couldn't even afford a car at the time, so that worked out well for me, and I ultimately had a demo. And then I realized that if you applied yourself and you followed some rules and put on a tie, that you might get somewhere. So I found out the guys working around me they knew a lot more than me, but they were lazy. So I realized that if I worked hard and learned what they learned, that I would have the edge. And ultimately, that's kind of what began to happen for me. Moved my way up the food chain pretty quickly in management. Got my head start with Sam DeFeo, with the DeFeo Group, and ultimately I became a GM with them. And then Sam would move me to his troubled stores, and I showed the ability to identify issues that would help, once fixed, put the store in the right direction. And that kind of became a role for me. I was 6 months here, a year there, um, then I was asked by when Roger Penske ultimately, when he bought UAG from Marshall Kogan. The company had gone public. I was part of the first public offering, so that got me some stock options, which helped me a little bit to move forward financially in life. But I became a platform guy, and they would transfer me to various areas of the country, move my family, and so on. And I coming from a very poor background, and I didn't really have a whole lot to lose, so I didn't really look over my shoulder very much. And I put my head down. I just did the work. It really is not that complicated.
Get your ticket today for CX Auto 2026, hosted by Thought Leadership Summits in partnership with Automotive News Congress.